Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Wave Italy Apex Racing League Prototype Championship here at Le Mans. I'm Austin. I'm joined by Tim Cox with Dennis Branch in the production booth. You're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
What a way to round out this championship. It's the home of sports car racing definitely in Europe, arguably in the world, the home to obviously the Automobile West, the people who obviously founded the Le Mans race, and a circuit that's pretty much remained unchanged largely since 1990, when, of course, it was the addition of the chicanes along the Mulsanne Straight to try and slow drivers down a little bit. However, it's these modern prototypes that they don't half get up to some speed, as currently just watch Spets just heading out onto that section now. Of course, it's a public road as well, this section, and so you can drive in real life. And yeah, similar to what well, not even Nordschleife, which is obviously a paid track, this is actually normal roads. As he heads past houses, you can just see in the background there, and wow, it is an absolute classic. And Austin, I can't wait for this one to begin.
Yeah, it is going to be a classic, especially in the LMP 1 and 2 field. The LMP 1s are going to be, well, no sail for most of the time. They're going to be using their boost down the straightaway, and it's going to be very cool to see on how they pull away from each other. But the LMP 2s, oh my gosh, that's going to be a slap fight from start to finish. Because usually in the normal 24 hours of Le Mans, the LP2s, they stay together for a few laps, and they hit the GT traffic, and then they just all disperse into little private fights. Well, now they're all going to be within each other. They're all going to be within each other's draft, and it's going to be very interesting to see who is the best LMP2 driver out there. Now, it's not all straightaways here at Le Mans, but it's pretty much going to be a massive draft fest, so it's anyone's game. And this is pretty much up there with every iRacer's golden tracks that everybody spends a lot of time practicing for and getting a lot of setup details for. And we saw that, and those types of tracks that I'm saying those are like Spa, those are your Daytonas, those are your Le Mans, the one with the big giant iRacer special events that everybody practices their heart out for. And you know, this is going to be, we're going to be seeing everybody's top level of driving here today in the final round.
It's going to be really classic, and it's going to be interesting, you know, as we just see right now Cowlarts coming through the final section through the Ford curves. A quite tricky section, really, a bit deceptive. It's how brave you're going to be across those curves, and if you get it slightly wrong, it causes big consequences for the car. You know, potentially even getting floor damage. Never mind the amount of time that you can potentially lose from when you lose the car. As we just see Alex Spets absolutely monstering it. Precision perfect there. And wow, there you go. Once again, goes top. I mean, what can we say about the Swede? We saw even a Red Bull Ring last week where he absolutely destroyed the field in qualifying, and I think money's got to be on him once again for the victory here in France.
Yeah, it's definitely one to look out for, especially for Alexander Spets, and I'm not surprised by that at all. A new thing that we've done here at Apex Racing League is actually a Apex Racing League series-wide, so not just in this series, but spanning throughout all the entire series over at Apex Racing League. We have our own drivers' ratings going up there, and Alexander Spets is surprisingly not in the top 10 because other drivers have entered more races because they're in multiple series, but he's in the top 25 drivers in all of Apex Racing League. Yeah, he's rated 11th right now, and that's really showing his pace and consistency out there.
So he's just knocking on the door of the top 10. Carroll, he's leading in LMP2 Pro right now with a 3-minute 27.6, just under 2 tenths. Separating himself and Panetta right now. I mean, just look at how close all of the times are in LMP2 Pro. And it's quite a similar story as well in the AM category as well. A guy that currently leading the way at the moment. 6 minutes of the 10 complete in qualifying right now, the drivers. So yeah, onto the second flying lap as we just watch the guy head along the Mulsanne straight, and this is where it gets tricky into. Actually, no, I think it's a bit. Sorry, apologies, a bit further around the track there, and yeah, that the large braking area into Mulsanne corner. Definitely a tricky one for the drivers. You're coming at such a high speed into it. You can lose quite a bit of time, but equally you can gain it by just missing or undercooking your braking point. Let's just see the Ollie Cole yet to set a time in LMP1, and he'll definitely be one of the stronger drivers to keep an eye out for. So he heads into the Ford chicane. Final time. What sort of time is he going to set? So he comes across the start-finish line. Let's take a little look, and wow, that's good enough for pole. Oh, wow.
For a split second before taken by Calrats and then Marco taking provisional pole, the 3:09.1. But here comes Alex Spetz heading into the Ford curbs right now. We saw him really master this section on his first lap, and I think he's done it even better on a second time around. Coming across the line, Alex Spetz. Does he take pole? Yes, he does. 3:08.7.
Spectacular. Right at the depths in qualifying. Spetz snatches pole with his final lap. A few of the drivers completing out their final laps. Panetta, one of them. He's currently third in LMP2 Pro, and yeah, an improvement in time for him, but just good enough for that's what's going to be the front row of the grid for him, but not enough to displace Carroll from the top of the standings in LMP2 Pro.
Yeah, as more drivers are finishing up their qualifying, one of them actually reset to the line, so I think there might have been a little bit of mistake out there. As Giuseppe Mia jumps up into 4th place as we're looking at Castellini right now. Funny fact about Lorenzo Castellini, he's actually ranked higher than Alex Spetz.
Okay, interesting fact, that one. And
well, the ranking is not just done by your overall position, it's done by your class. So you're going to be seeing some amateur drivers actually or lower class drivers ranked higher than the top class drivers, because it shows your positioning, finishing, and class. Now, we just launched this site with about 10 events actually in there. So 10 starts actually in there. I'm gonna say at the end of season 1, it's gonna be a little bit more accurate. But currently, right now, Castellini is the 7th ranked driver in Apex Racing League. Currently, if you're wondering who number 1 is, that's Tobias Olsen, our Apex Racing League Formula 3 Super Series championship leader. So you shouldn't be surprised about that one.
No, I've seen Olsen in a few other broadcasts that I've covered, and that guy is absolutely electric. To be fair, as Castellini just comes across the line, an improvement in time for him. Still only good enough for 3rd in class right now, and qualifying just coming to an end. Be able to bring you up your grid here for the final round at Le Mans.
Yeah, Alexander Spetz takes pole position here at Le Mans with a fantastic lap time. 3/10 ahead of Marco Adricano in 2nd place. Simon Calrats, Ollie Cole, Ismail Yakubu, and Jan Korbs with Saswas Balag at the end of the LMP1 grid. Heading over to the LMP2 Pros, Owen Carroll, ranked number 3 in ARL, will be starting on pole position for the LMP2 Pros, followed by Francesco Pinetta, Lorenzo Castanelli, Giuseppe Muia, Michael Mariani in 12th place. They're followed by Giuseppe Muia, Michael Mariani, and Daniel Sissi-Salzbo, with Jack Geiler taking pole position in the LMP2 AM. They're followed by Ricardo Garoli, Connor Gibb, Andy Tysers, Thomas Sorensen, Gerardo Iconetti, Martin Corfed, and Andy Thompson at the end of our 21-car grid.
It's definitely going to be interesting, Austin. Obviously, once we get a few laps in and the LMP1s come round to lap the LMP2, it's just how they manage that traffic and where they catch them. Of course, if they catch them on the Mulsanne straight, then it's nice and easy. Plenty of chance to just use that hybrid boost just to head straight past them in an absolute flash. But if they catch them into somewhere like the Porsche curbs, and especially the Ford curbs right at the end, it's going to be really, really tricky for them to get past. And they could see him losing quite a bit of time. Or equally, you know, if you've got someone behind you who gets caught up behind some LMP2s, you could get a big jump over your competitors. So definitely going to be one to watch out for in a few laps' time. We just wait for the last few drivers to head to the grid.
Yeah, a few drivers we're still waiting on right now. We also got that beautiful Le Mans rolling start with the jets flying over the sky.
It's an absolute spectacle to behold. It's this classic track and the classic race is Le Mans 24 hours. Attracts so many people from all over the globe to come and see it. It's one of the all-time classics and makes it part of the, well, in my opinion, takes it part of the Triple Crown, of course, the Monaco Grand Prix in Formula 1, Le Mans 24 hour, and of course the Indy 500 being part of the three parts of that. And, well, I think it's going to be fascinating to see who can come out here victorious. We said the money is going to be on Alex Spetz. We've seen such dominant performances from him. Likewise in LMP2, Owen Carroll, again, strong showings from him, and he's starting on pole as well. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on, and of course however all the drivers get on down into effectively turn 2, Dunlop, the chicane, and the field really, really bunches up. And I mean, so often you see where people end up tripping over one another, and if you get a spinner, which is, I mean, for these drivers are much better quality than themselves, already less likely. Whether if you head left for the first time in the first part of the chicane, the rear end of the car is quite easy to lose potentially. So we could see someone stuck in the middle of the track and going to add a bit of mayhem. But like I say, due to the caliber of these drivers, it seems unlikely for that to happen.
Indeed, as well, it seems like the slowest that these cars are ever going to go. There's the jets in the background. And what a sight to behold right here. Pace car is not going off right there. I remember it takes a later off.
Yeah, it doesn't come in for the traditional pace.
It gets me every time. There it goes, the pace car. And it's green, green, green for the last time of this season. The Wave Italy ARL Prototypes Championship is underway as Alexander Spetz immediately gets onto the loud pedal, jumping ahead of Marco Adriano. Simon Calrat's down to the inside, and Marco looking down to the inside right now, heading into the first part of this course, and it is going to be Simon Calrat holding off for second place as the LP2 field already getting a bit argy-bargy right there at the end of the 4 curves as they're underway as they go green, green, green.
And you see, yeah, a bit of, like you say, argy-bargy between Carroll and Panetta there on the exit of the Ford curves.
It's actually Castanelli who got in a little bit. I think he was just going in a little bit deep, wasn't expecting a little bit of a checkup. Oh, speaking of checkups right there, Giuseppe having a little bit of a wiggle right there. Almost got a tap from the back of Daniel Sizzi Salzbo. And Jack Geiler, he's down there as well.
He is indeed, and expect Jack to be coming in through the field and really mixing it up with the pros. As we saw that very much last time out at the Red Bull Ring, and
he's picked up a slowdown. He's picked up a slowdown already on lap 1. That's not when you want to have it. Went up a little bit too wide, and Jack Geiler, first slowdown of the day, and this is going to be a Geiler challenge for Geiler because he's one of the fastest drivers in the Amsterdam Championships, but you know he's already going to be starting at a disadvantage heading into the Mulsanne Straight at around 11th overall in his class.
Just saw Civisabo heading ahead of Muir there into the first of the chicanes along the Molson to get himself up into 11th overall, 5th in class. But it's not all over because the Slipstream Fest begins down to the second chicane.
Saw
So
Ricardo
much-
Garoli faking it down to the inside, was testing on how much that he can actually get off of this draft right here. But, you know, the car that he's behind, Giuseppe, is getting the draft to Daniel Sasbo. And, you know, the draft is going to be very important right here. But I feel like this race might be one heading into these braking zones, because that's where you're going to be really getting the advantage. If you look in the background, there's a move heading into the braking zone right there. Down to the inside is a 261 of Andy Tyser. So Thomas Sorensen, beautiful move right there.
It was a textbook move from the Brit. Tyser himself ahead of Thomas Sorensen there for second in class. Of course, Connor Gear currently leading the way in the AMs at the moment. And I think something's happened to Ricardo Garoli. He's just falling through the order. We'll see if we can pick that up shortly.
Might be served a slowdown, but I am not sure. He was going a little bit slow off the exit of that tight right-hander heading off the straightaway. Molson, thank you.
That's all right.
I am not aficionado at the Le Mans quarters.
That's all right. As I'm from the same side of the pond, as it were, as Le Mans, then
you're closer.
Yes, I've got that love, and I absolutely love this track. It's absolutely brilliant. It provides a bit of everything. You know, you've got the long straights where you can, you know, be competitive and slipstream, and multi-class racing brings in that
corners.
Yeah, into the Porsche curves, Corvette curves as well. And then you've got, you know, rounding out the lap with those really, really tricky, it almost feels a little bit clumsy Ford curves. Let's be right on board right now with Adriano. And you can see just ahead of us, Ismail Yakubu in the Audi. And the Audis are going to be strong here. Of course, they've got much higher top speed than the Porsche. Adriano currently our only Porsche driver in LMP1. However, and this is what plays out as a bit of benefit, is the Porsches are able to recover their hybrid boost under acceleration as well as under braking, whereas the Audis can only do it under braking. And that really benefits the Porsches in this section of the track.
Yes, the Porsche is going to be very strong later on into this race, as early on in the race, the Audis are still going to have all that battery. They might have a deployment strategy, but when they're running low on energy, that Porsche is going to be right there to snipe them up right now. And what Marco's doing is just staying in the draft of the Audis, staying with them, and waiting for his time to strike. Jack Geiler, there he is in the background, behind Ricardo Garoli. Did he get another slowdown?
Leave that with me. I will do some
I think he just did get another slowdown because he fell down more spots this time. Well, he stayed in 11th now, but you know, we had two guys heading into the pits, Andy Thompson and Martin Corfed, went into the pits off of lap 1. They might have had a little bit of a tussle with each other. And Arrow is so important right here, but I think Jack Geiler did get another slowdown for 2 laps in a row. And that's really going to pull him away from Andy Tyser's ahead of him.
It is indeed, and seeing these two absolutely duke it out right now. Maria and Civisabo been trading places for, well, I'll say last couple of laps. We're only on to lap 2, 5 minutes into the hour-long race here at Le Mans for the season finale. Let's see, Panetta currently second in class, and I say over Carroll, he's done a good job so far. He's managed to break that draft. He's currently 1.6 seconds ahead of the second place Italian, who's then got Castellelli right behind him. You can see tucking right in as they head down to Indianapolis.
Oh, Castellelli, he wanted to go heading into Indianapolis right there, but he's backed off, a big back off right there. He was right on the gearbox of the 119 of Francesco Pinetta, but he just decided that it wasn't time to really go for that move. And he's just biding his time and waiting for the right opportunity. But definitely the draft is strong enough for him to make that move right there. But heading into Indianapolis, you know, you got that little bit of a flick before the actual left-hander. And the left-hander on the inside is really banked. And it really could catch your car out if you aren't looking forward to it. And I'm going to be honest, it's my least favorite corner here at Le Mans, as I keep crashing into it.
That's understandable for
Which is
a
why I
good
stick
reason.
to commentary whenever I go here.
Well, that's why I stick to commentary in general, really, to be fair. I mean, it's... I was having a chat with DJ Clark, one of our co-commentators here at Apex Racing TV the other day, and we were saying, you know, we don't like to give away our iRating because it's almost dents our credibility a little bit, but there's a classic saying of those that can't... those that can't do it, those that can't talk about it, and that's definitely why you have myself and Austin in the commentary booth.
Well, I have an excuse for having brain damage.
Well, yes, that is a. Well, of course
I have real life in-car experience. I just hurt myself.
You do. It was F3 as well, wasn't it? You used to drive as high as that.
I tested F3. I did USF 2000.
There you go,
and a little bit of Baja.
Why not? For good measure, a bit of fun, and I mean, of course, you know,
my family's still doing Baja stuff.
I mean, you think back to the the original, the pioneers of races. You know, they were actually racing drivers. You know, they used to drive absolutely everything. Whereas now, of course, drivers just, as we see, Garoli there making a move. But
did Skyler get another? I don't. No, that's not Skyler. That's his teammate right there.
Skyler's
and
just got past
there's
Sorensen.
Jack actually in the background. Oh, he didn't get past him right there. He thought he got past Sorensen. Almost got into the side of him. The 295 of Jack Geiler's teammate actually getting out of the draft of the car ahead, picking up the draft of Jack, and actually helping him through Jack Geiler, being helped by Connor Gibb as they're chasing down Garoli and Ticers ahead. There's Garoli in that 125, and the car ahead of him is Andy Ticers. So a little bit of team play for the Drive Dead Academy.
Definitely. However, even if you lose out in the first part of the Mulsanne, it's definitely not over. You know, you've got two more.
Cole's got into the grass right ahead of Jan Corbs. A little bit of an unintentional slide job right there. But beautiful reactions by Jan to not get into the side right there. Ollie Cole pushing it to the limits. Let's take a replay of this pass. Heading into the Porsche curves. Jan down to the inside. Corbs trying to hold it around the outside. How did either of them not crash and end up into the wall is beyond my knowledge, but wow.
Wow, I mean, if that
doesn't put a smile on your face, you need to live more.
I mean, I'd love to see on board from Corbs' perspective there, because all of a sudden he would have had a face full of Ollie Cole's Audi R18.
Audi.
And somehow, I don't know how they avoided one another. Even after seeing that replay from above, it was amazing how they didn't come into contact. But what that has allowed is Kubu and Akuriano have come right into the fight with these two. And I tell you what, that Porsche is definitely holding on to the coattails of the Audi. And like you say, when it comes into a bit stronger later in the race, where it's more easy, able to recover its hybrid boost, it's going to be really interesting to see what the Italian can do. Currently 6th place right now in LMP1.
Yeah, LMP1 is really getting close right there. With stuff like that happening, anything can happen.
Well, we've seen already this season, as we see Sorensen right all over the back of Connor Gibb. Jack Geiler's managed to clear him as he comes back through the field. And I tell you what, Gibb, he's gone from being leading, and actually he's fallen through the order. Tice's got past him. Growley, the pro driver, also passed him, and likewise Jack Geiler as well. And Geiler, you see, he's already just made up another place there, getting past pro driver Growley as he now hunts down his fellow Brit, Andy Ticehurst.
Yeah. 1.1 seconds. Geiler, he is going to be gaining on Tysers on the straightaway. He just needs to keep it within the white lines and not get another slowdown right here. Ooh, that's flirting with disaster just a little bit, but I feel like he should be good. Tysers on the back end of Daniel City Southwell looking down the inside right here. And he does get the move, and here comes Geiler. Geiler in the draft of Daniel as well. He's going to be gaining some time. And Daniel City Southwell, he might be under threat from Jack very soon, or he might be putting the pressure on Andy Tysers very soon as well, because Daniel City Southwell, teammate to Jack Geiler.
You might have just seen it in the background there. One of the cars off to the left-hand side on the first section, the Mulsanne. That was Garoli. Looks like he managed to pick up a slowdown. That's promoted Connor Gibb ahead of him overall.
Here comes Daniel.
LMP2.
Oh, I thought Daniel was going to go, but he's not going to launch that attack as Jack is right on that gearbox right now. We're going to see if teammates let each other through. Now, this is the Drive Dead Academy car versus the head Drive Dead racing car. Are we going to be seeing the Academy drivers getting a little bit of helping hand right here? Or is he going to have to earn it? He's right on that gearbox. His rival's right ahead of him. It's not the last minute stretch right now. So he can wait a little bit of opportunity. It's not go ahead or die home, but that is going to be a story to follow as well, especially if they stay in this 3-car pack with Daniel and Jack with Andy Tysers as well.
I mean, it's also quite handy to stay behind the car in front of you as you head into Mulsanne corner, because of course you've got this set. But there is that, but also you've got this section as Civisabo out Andy Tysers there to get ahead into Indianapolis, and yeah, that long stretch.
Oh, and Jack's hit him! Jack's hit Andy Tysers heading into Indianapolis. And that is not how you like your races to be seen for the fight for the lead. Jack Geiler heading into Indianapolis after Daniel City Southwell looks down the inside, gets that move, chops the nose right there, heading into Indianapolis. And oh, Jack just had a completely different breaking point than Andy did right there. Oh, no.
I hope he has not got any either suspension or, you know, steering column damage, because that's going to really hamper him, let alone if he's got any aero damage, because that will cause him a whole world of pain in the first third of the track, where it's pretty much all straights as we look at the LMP1s right now. And these four are still tightly, you know, packed together. Not quite throw a blanket over them, so they just pass the 223 LMP2 there of Andy Thompson. And yeah, they just, you know, seem to be happy to sit behind one another. Maybe, I think, a bit of fuel saving right now going on and allowing Ollie Cole just to punch a hole in the air. But all these 3 cars behind them, of course, Yukubu, Adrian Chicano, and see Cobbs, Cole there, just taking a bit of an alternative line, a little bit wide.
Oh, Jack Geiler. It's getting a little sideways right there. Side-by-side action with him and the 125 of Ricardo Garoli. Garoli going to be able to hold it around the outside right there. And oh, Jack with the switchback move, looking down the inside of Garoli. But it's not going to be enough. Garoli to have that top speed right there. Jack Geiler will be with that, well, draft advantage. And he's also got the 295 of Connor Gibb, his teammate, behind him, as well as Thomas Sorensen in that fight. Here comes Connor. Connor, little bump draft in action on Jack. Here comes Jack getting the little push and shove. Looking down to the inside of the first chicane. They're going to be side by side. A big sand in the background. Thomas Sorensen overtakes all of them, but he overshoots it, getting into Jack Geiler. Geiler going to have to force go out down to the inside. That's going to be a slowdown, and that's promoting Connor Gibb into the amateur lead.
Wow, big action there to the first chicane. As you look at the replay, I don't know how that was not a bigger accident there, as they all came together, you know, all 4 of them. You could have literally thrown a blanket over them as we look down from the helicopter of Garoli and Sorensen side by side, and Garoli just maintaining that place over Sorensen right now.
Wonderful avoidance maneuvers by all these drivers, and just keeping their heads straight and not doing overcorrections right there. Jack Geiler forced to go wide. There was a little bit of touch right there, but I don't think that either of these drivers have any damage on their cars. And they just kept it clean right there. But, oh, man, that would get your heart pumping for sure if you were in that pack.
It would do indeed, as we see this intriguing battle between two Italians of Mariana and Maria. Currently locked in a battle for 10th overall and 4th in class right now. They've just swapped places from where they qualified. So they come into Mulsanne there, and Maria currently in the better position is the 3D Rap Squad Corsa driver. He's going to have the slipstream out of the corner, and there you go. Gets the move done nice and early. So I'll tell you what, Austin, these four are still at it, you know, trading places. Cole's just moved into the midfield, clearly wanting to fuel save a bit himself after punching the hole in the air for so long. Currently, Corpse, he's made his way to the front of the group with the Kubu second. Cole and Adriano just currently still happy to sit it out at the back in the Porsche right now. Definitely the driver fuel saving the most as we ride on board with Cole as we head down to the iconic Indianapolis.
Yep, Ollie Cole looking on the outside, heading into Indianapolis. I'll give him the inside line right here. You can see him going all the way out to that red stripe, but he can't get enough right there. And we'll have to stay behind him right now as Yakubu stays ahead. But Ollie Cole definitely hunting down Yakubu right now. Heading into the Porsche curves. Are we going to be seeing a little replay of that as we head into the Ford curves? Connor Gibb and Geiler. Well, actually, Connor Gibb and Garoli having a little bit of a swap of each other as Jack Geiler is able to escape out of this fight and I'll pull away as Connor Gibb is well throwing haymakers right now.
He is indeed, and I tell you what, it's these guys have constantly been trading places due to the slipstream effect. See Garoli there, who had originally, you know, not that long ago, I think about a lap ago actually, he had made his way to the front of the group. Now behind Geiler and Gibbs, Zabo leading this gaggle of cars to head down to the first chicane. Look at just try and get the best possible exit you can. Lose so much, you know, bit of time through there, and if you just miss your apex slightly, creates a whole world of pain where you can lose potentially, you know, 5 kilometers come the end of that's the next section of the Mulsanne straight. But wow, I don't think we've mentioned him since the very start here, Austin. Alex Spetz, 2.7 seconds clear in the lead overall and in LMP1.
Absolutely, Alexander Spetz pulling away from everybody else, and it's looking like a good way to end off the season. He is being pressured by Kyle Ratz right behind. We're going to see if he still has it in there as the LMP2 fight is going absolutely mental. This is the Wave Italy Apex Racing League Prototypes Championships here at Le Mans. We'll be right back after this small break. And welcome back to the Apex Racing, to the Wave Italy Apex Racing League Prototype Championships here at Le Mans. This is a little short, just shortly back as nothing really massive happened. Ollie Cole's still chasing down Yakubu, but he's actually been passed by Adriano in that Porsche.
Yes, he's making his way through the group slowly, and I think it's interesting the dynamic between these four drivers. At this stage in the race, nobody quite wants to lead. Everyone wants to, you know, be behind at least one car and benefit from the slipstream and the ability to not use as much fuel because of it. And the Porsche of Adriano been sat at the back of this group since the start of the race, and with just over 20 minutes completed, he's made up a place. But here comes Cole using the boost He's going to be surely making the pass into Indianapolis.
Oh, they're right side by side, down to the inside, and Cole is not going to get it. Marco held it around the outside, and he's able to hold that off for 5th place. That Porsche elbows out, and he's having a great time.
He is indeed absolutely spectacular. That should have been Cole's, but the Italian fought back hard, kept his foot in around the outside, and found a bit of grip where I don't think anyone else has managed to find it so far, really relying on the aerodynamic abilities of this car, and holds on to 5th place overall and in class right now. But that just has created a little bit of fresh air between themselves and Corbs and Yakubi, that little group just ahead of them. You can see them there. This is the battle for the last podium place in LMP1 and overall. The new fastest lap from Spets. Oh, that's Connor Gibb!
Oh no! Gibb in the wall! And that's at the start of the lap too. What's happened to Connor Gibb? Did he hook a wheel off the exit? Oh, got onto the curb mid-quarter, and that just takes the car, that swings you around, and it's not that big of a hit into the wall. He just got it stopped right before there, so he should be fine, but that's going to be putting him miles behind of any car on track. Into the nearest car behind him is the golden beauty of Alexander Spets, as he just put down the fastest lap of the race. But, oh, that's a tough one.
It's probably one of the worst parts of the circuit, because obviously from that section onwards, the cars are reaching their, the fastest speeds, and you can see the gap now. It's Gibb is around about 4 seconds off Titus, 5th in class. As we see another the LMP2 battles right now. Mia has made his way past Miriani. I expect this to change constantly. Just over a third of the race complete here in the final round at Le Mans. Still, everything up for grabs in this final round.
Michael Mariani on the back of the 130 of Giuseppe Maya. Nose tail heading into Indianapolis. You can see a little bit of difference in the line as Michael getting into the kitty leader right there. Just maximizing his line and trying to find any advantage on Giuseppe.
He is indeed, and these two just trading very, very similar lap times as well. So we head back to the battle for 2nd place between Panetta and Castellelli. They head around the Porsche curbs. We really rely on the aerodynamic capabilities of these cars. Running very, very little wing due to utilizing the maximum top speed along the Mulsanne straight. It's a bit more trickier than what you would normally expect, and a bit slower compared to other circuits where if you have that section of corners, and just see Castellelli there just bouncing across the curbs and the forward curves there. But yeah, other traction where you've been running a much higher downforce setup, you'd be able to monster those a lot quicker. But see,
you're just a duck on the straightaways.
You are.
Even if you think about anything going
You are.
one click higher than the lowest setting you can go.
Well, that's a
You're just
slowdown.
a duck, and that's a slowdown for Jack Geiler. His 3rd slowdown of the day. And Simon Kalleratz puts in the first LP1 pit stop right before he got to the LP2 traffic. This could be a strategy move right here, as Ikubu is also following suit right now. As Alexander Spence, he's going to be tackling this traffic right now, and he's catching him at exactly the wrong time, because he's going to be held up right here.
He is indeed, the two battling prototypes in LMP2. You can see Spetsy's trying to find a way past, but even with that hybrid boost giving him that extra speed and able to shoot past, he's unable to get past, and finally he clears them as they head out onto the first section, the Mulsanne straight.
That's going to lose him some valuable time right there. That has definitely lost him. And this could be Simon Kalleratz's chance to push back. But now, Simon, he has to still get past that LP2 traffic. or before they go into the pits. Now we're 26 minutes into this race. Is Alexander Spets going to cover off Calorat, or is he going to carry on until he needs to? Because he's already gone past the hardest part. Calorat still has to go in there unless he timed it to the LMPs heading into the pits this lap. There's Jack Geiler behind a Daniel Civi Salzbo as they get passed by Alexander Spets. But Spets, oh, he should have looked ahead because he caught them at exactly the wrong time.
He did indeed, and in fact, the whole world of pain, it just shows there where the traffic management plays such a large place here at Le Mans and within any multi-class racing series, and there could well be an absolutely epic call from Simon Cowlitz. Also, interestingly, Yakubu headed in as well. As we see Castelletti and Panetta battling it out, and Castelletti making his way past his fellow countryman to head down into Indianapolis. And I mean, I'm just trying to do some rough maths here, Austin. And I think Cowlitz is going to catch up with these guys around about, well, I think he's going to catch them in a similar place to what Alex Spets did, as we just see Garoli bump drafting Sorensen there.
Yeah, a little bit of bump draft and heading into a few of these corners. These LMP2s definitely maximizing their speed, trying to pull away from everybody else. I see the Porsche of Marco Adicano and the Audi of Jan Korbs making their way past them outside of Indianapolis and carrying on right now. But yeah, the LMP2 traffic is definitely going to be throwing a little bit of a curveball right now to some of these LMP1s. And I really want to see with that gap to Simon Calorat and Ismail Yakubu. I think they might improve their spots catching up to Alexander Spets right now. And, oh, that's not the place where you want to be if you're Marco Adicano. Side by side here, the Porsche curves. And right besides of Jan Korbs right there, heading into the Ford curves right now. Whoa, going Marco. He is sending it through these corners, getting a little bit aggressive. Ollie Cole heads into the pits.
Does indeed. Ollie Cole sees what's happening in front of him, bails out, heads to the pits. And I tell you what,
out of that one. And we're going to see where Ollie Cole is going to be coming out in comparison to Calorat and Yakubu. And, you know, Yakubu and Cole, they've been battling. Who's going to be at that advantage? Because Cole was at the end tail of the LMP2 traffic. He was just getting there. We're going to be seeing who will have that advantage as he comes out of the pits, Yakubu or Cole. And we're going to be seeing who will be having that advantage as well. There goes Calorat.
I think Yakubu's going to do this. I'm just keeping one eye on the times, and it's going to be close. So Cole's just heading out of the pits, and I think Yakubu
there's the pit limiter. He's going to beat him out of the pit lane. It's going to be a drag race, but Yakubu swings it around, says, thank you. But, you know, Cole, he's going to be in that draft. Cole's going to be able to push his way all the way to the end behind Yakubu. This is going to get very interesting between these two. But yeah, pitting early, it definitely seemed like the right deal as Korbs and Marco Adicano swap for second. Korbs getting into the draft of that Porsche, and Marco's going to be leading them into this chicane right here. And, you know, the inclusions of the chicanes, very fantastic. You know, slows cars down and prevents Mercedes flippage.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's through this section here. They've actually leveled it out. Of course, the absolutely iconic image and video clip of Mark Webber, where during the very sort of dangerous era, it was, they were running in terms of their specifications, made the cars very unstable at high speeds and
he flipped it twice there in the same. Yeah, it was twice.
Yeah, and absolutely spectacular. It got completely and utterly airborne, where you know the pressure just equalized underneath the car, and that's what sent him flying and just lifted up the front end and airborne he went. And I mean, interestingly, he did an interview on on Top Gear, the British motoring show, and he spoke about that incident. And apparently, while he was airborne, he was applying the brakes, despite being literally about 20 foot off the ground. Still trying to brake, even though he knew full well himself, and he said at the time, completely out of control of that car. As we just see a switch there, but Corbs just getting ahead of the Porsche of Avocado.
Yeah, that's a well, whenever things going a little bit crazy, you can either brake or when in doubt, flat out. Colin McRae would have just been flat out right there. But when you're flying through the air, Mark Webber I think has had the most flips of airborne flips in racing, top level racing.
That's actually, yeah. I think. Oh no, that's
the Giuseppe. Going wide in the forward curbs right there, getting out into the killer, just overshot that move and always hit the curb. He was sliding into there, has hit the curb, gone up. No other cars involved in there, but that's a costly mistake.
Well, he was locking up the brakes on entry into the last part of the forward curves.
He was sliding into there.
Trying to take evasive action. That's what's set up the car, and mentioned about it before the race, where it could get a little bit tricky. You could lose a bit of time, and the Italian drivers to full foul of that one. It's brought, I'd say, it's brought Geiler right into this as we see Zivizarbo here hunting down the Brit of Geiler. Of course, these two, one in Zivizarbo, he is in pro. Geiler within AM. However, it's not stopped Geiler battling with Zivizarbo and Garoli from the pro category. We saw it last time out at Red Bull Ring, and we've seen it pretty, for a lot of the season. Zivizarbo, with these two have been trading places. I'll tell you what, it looks like a bit of a bump draft going on.
They are bump drafted. The teammates bump drafted, and the academy driver getting a little push from the pro team right there.
Definitely, as these two clearly working together to pull away from the clutches of Thomas Sorensen. You could just see in the background there, and expect these two to be bump drafting once again on this next section of the Mulsanne Straight.
They're going to do it again? Yes, they are. Not as effective as the first attempt. But Daniel, he's right on him as we got an incident in the background. Castellani and Panetta, they've had an incident at the end of the Mulsanne Straight. And I think that's Panetta just giving that position back. He's putting up his hand. That's his fault right there. Let's take a replay of Francesco Panetta. They're behind the 146, and there's just getting overtaken by Marco Panetta. It's just a little bit too light on the brakes. Gave him a tap, and that little small tap over-rotated him, and Francesco Panetta, my bad, pulls over to the other side of the track and lets him back by.
What he's done is just absolutely aided Owen Carroll. I don't think we've actually mentioned him at this race. It's just been his dominance in LMP2 Pro. That now means he has got 11.5 seconds over second place. The Drive Dead Racing driver is in a class of his own once again here in France.
Ranked 3 in ARL, Apex Racing League competitions, as Owen Carroll currently leading out the LMP2 field by a massive margin. Alex Spetz heading into the pit lane with 16 seconds to spare to Corbs and Articano. Calrats, 52 seconds to Alexander Spetz. Now, average lap time from pit entry to pit end, it's about 50 seconds. And Calrats is just outside of that range when Alexander Spetz headed into there. I think Spetz still had the pace, just even including him being held up by the LP2 traffic. He's still going to be able to make it through there and pull away as he's now stopped in the box. Calrats heading through the forward curves, and wow, there's no competition right there. Calrats at the end of the straight. Spetz is already full throttle and pulling away. Well,
I'll tell you what, Austin. I mean, before they came in, the gap was around about 2 seconds between those drivers, just waiting for the timing software to update itself so we can see the exact gap. But I reckon Spetz has actually managed to pull away from Calrats there.
He's pulled about 7 seconds to Calrats. during that because, you know, the average lap time that he was pulling away, he had CalRats in his draft. And the LP2s, CalRats decided I'm going to avoid the traffic right there. He still had to go through that traffic that Spets had to go. Now, if it was the next lap that Spets went in, CalRats would have had that position. But since Spets held off for so long and kept on going, he was able to build that gap with CalRats away from that draft, and he was able to pull that 8-second gap as we're seeing the LP2 fight in the pit lane right there. And here comes my yearly iRacing. Please add the animations for us, for all the pit crew members, because, you know, I love my pit lane chaos. I know it would involve a lot of people running over pit crew members, but they're digital anyway. They don't need medical insurance.
They don't indeed, and as you can see, the pit window were fully open in LMP2 as the whole field headed in exactly the same time there. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm just trying to have a little bit of a look for you, Austin, of winners and losers during that. And I'll tell you what, we saw the two teammates, Zabo and Guyla, who were bump drafting one another. Zabo's not only got ahead, but he's also pulled out around about 1.7
Andy Ticehurst had a great stop. Ticehurst and Civvy Salzbo. No, Giuseppe Maya. No, it is just Civvy Salzbo. They had the best stops. Yeah, but 57 seconds from pit lane start to exit. Andy Ticehurst had a 59 start to exit right there. They had much shorter lap times. Much shorter box time. So they've obviously done something with the fuel. And you know, they definitely are aiming at a number to keep the miles per gallon high.
They are indeed, and an interesting battle right now is what was the four-way battle for that last place on the podium in LMP1 and overall between Corbs, Yakubu, Adekano, and Cole. They've all bunched out a bit. Corbs has got a big jump over. These you can see right now, Yakubu and Adekano. So it's a dogfight for fourth place between Porsche and Audi right now. Adekano just behind, about 9/10 of a second, but Ollie Cole, he's dropped right off the back of these guys. He's run about 3.7 seconds behind one of the big losers during the round of pit stops.
Yeah, one of the big losers indeed is Marco Adekano. In that Porsche, still going to be struggling just a tad bit. But, you know, he is doing pretty well for himself behind Yakubu, as you see Ollie Cole in the background, who's been having a pretty downward day.
He has indeed, and he has had some success, but so the Audi driver is it's been more negatives than positives for him, and currently finds himself 6th in the class right now. Of course, the other driver, Barlog, didn't make the grid, and so far he's our only retiree here in Le Mans. You see Cole there heading out onto the Mulsanne straight, but, well, what can we say? Look at the gap that Spets has over CalArts now. 11 seconds, a mammoth amount of time here at Le Mans.
Yeah, an absolutely blistering amount of time for Alexander Spets to pull out on Simon CalArts behind him. And it's just showing you why he's the World Championship leader. And, you know, defending his ranking in the Apex Racing League overall rankings. Which, you know, I'm going to continue to bring that up because I just feel like that's the coolest thing that we've started to do here on Apex Racing League. I'm a massive fan of college basketball. You know, we have a ton of teams in here, and, you know, whenever they play, just have the team name, then a little ranking next to it.
I did indeed. It's a good way, you know, I mean, because the trouble is with the iRating system is, you know, you can be very strong in one class. It's, you know, it's very easy to sort of pick it up, you know, and then you sort of transfer to another class. Yeah, exactly. And then you move across to another class, and you find yourself in a whole world of pain where you're just, you know, you're completely off the pace. And Yeah, I mean, yes, you might be, I don't know, for example, say a 2K or a 3K driver from whatever you've been driving, but then you move across to another class and find that actually within that category, you're maybe, 1,000 or 1,500 iRacing slower, compared to your competitors. And I mean, you were saying that, for pleading iRacing for having, the pit lane animations. I mean, for myself, it's going to be having car-specific iRatings.
Ooh, car-specific iRating. That would be really cool to see because, you'd be more in tune whenever you try out a new car. And, sometimes when your road iRating is a little bit higher than everybody else's, you get landed into a top split race where it's like, I've never driven this car before. Why am I doing this?
Exactly, as we just see this battle for a second.
But
Still
looked like he was going for that move, but he decided not to.
Yeah, I was just teeing that one up, funnily enough, Austin, and just spotted him slot back in again. But, well, having a second bite of the apple there. It's going to be on the outside. He swoops down, gets the move done into Indianapolis, and it's the short run to Arnage now. And he's maintained that place. Second place for Panetta for now. We've got 17 and a half minutes left here in the season finale. I'd expect these two to keep swapping places right until the very end.
Well, Panetta and Mariani, to bring up the ratings again. Mariani ranked 5th overall. Panetta ranked 6th overall. So they're fighting over second place, but they're also fighting for the Apex Racing League rating as well, because since this is the season finale, this will be the last event to really secure that ranking right there. And as well as, unless they go into a different series, this will be the last scoring position for them until a new LMP2 series comes out for them.
Maybe, can't wait for that series to begin, as we've seen such brilliant action from this season. And of course, we just see Garoli just head through there behind Sorensen. Of course, not having as much luck as his fellow countryman in real life, the Dane Tom Christensen has had around this circuit. Sorensen currently second in class right now and just fending off Garoli. However, Jack Geiler, despite earlier falling, getting that slowdown in the opening lap, falling pretty much to the back.
He's had 3 slowdowns today.
Well,
3. He
has. And he's recovered every single time. He's got himself, he's back out in the front yet again. He has been for the last few laps and now has a 4-second advantage over second place Sorensen. You can see at the front of this 2-car train.
Yeah, with 15 minutes remaining here on Apex Racing TV, the Wave Italy Apex Racing League Prototype Championships is closing down for the last time, but we'll be right back for the finish after this small break. And we're back for the Wave Italy Apex Racing League Prototype Championship here on Apex Racing TV at Le Mans for the finale round. 15 minutes remain. It's Spets leading out the P1s. Owen Carroll with a massive lead to LMP2, and Jack Geiler with a recovery drive of dreams in LMP2 AMS.
He has indeed. Absolutely spectacular. I mean, Owen Carroll, he's been just a class of his own, really, out in the front of LMP1, as we see Castellelli just getting ahead of Panetta there. And funnily enough, we've seen this so many times into Mulsanne. However, on the run up to Indianapolis.
Yeah, he got up into the gravel right there. As Panetta, we saw this last lap where he got onto the outside line and was able to make it. We're going to be seeing this again. Yes, we are. Here we go. Castanelli under pressure by Panetta. Panetta looking onto the outside, heading into Indianapolis, and he's going to get that once again. And I feel like we're going to be seeing this battle and the same old story happen lap after lap as Castanelli, well, he's going to have to start thinking his strategy heading into the last lap, because if he continues to do what he does, this fight might just be the same old heading into the end.
I mean, just interesting there. You saw Panetta just drifting out of the corner a little bit. I mean, with the trick with these LMP2 cars is to brake and accelerate in a straight line. Otherwise, especially under acceleration, the traction control tends to kick in, and you lose so much time. And especially with the drifting action as well under acceleration, it's so easy to get that rear end squirrely, even if you've got a small amount of steering input into the car. And what that does is generates extra heat within the rear tires. Now, early on in the race, it's not too much of an issue, but in these closing stages where the tires are already hot, keep doing that. You can find the rear tires going away from you, and then you're in a whole world of pain with a real lack of grip and being out of the corners. So you're going to leave yourself vulnerable, especially to a car that's behind you. And in Castelletti's case, that's going to give him a chance to maybe strike, as we just see. I'll tell you what, Adicano, we said about him moving through the field as in the latter stages where obviously the Porsche is able to cover its hybrid boost under acceleration, and it is something that has been happening. He's been slowly picking his way through. He wasn't sick. Yeah, he's picked off Colt. He's picked off Yakubu. I mean, it's 2 seconds to Corbs in that last podium place. I mean, there is chance, but it seems unlikely. You can see him just ahead. There's Adicano there just slipstreaming through
A little bit of
the
flashing
LMP2.
lights.
Well, it's
right there.
You know, it's multi-class racing. It'd be rude not to. You know, that's why you got the light flash button.
Yeah, I know, but you know, you're in the middle of daylight.
I know, but it's a lot of it is to do with for those watching at home who, you know, maybe haven't taken part in multi-class racing, as these two go at it once more.
Yakubu.
Yeah, through.
Using that Audi top speed to push through, and a little bit of boost right there to Marco. So
you're just obviously picking up about the lights. Obviously, a lot of it is it's not to distract people, and like you're saying, you know, in daylight, obviously, it's nowhere near as dramatic. But a lot of it's just, you know, to, you know, just it's a form of, you know, communication between yourself and especially the slower classes in front of you. Just know that you're there. Where you are, you know, you're coming up, you're close, and you are going to be making a move. As I tell you, you can see the hybrid deployment there out of the Ford curves, and where the car just literally takes off, and it's like hitting a warp speed button. As unfortunately, these LMP2s, no hybrid deployment for those guys, but stop these two having a race-long battle. 49 minutes in, and still only 0.2 of a second is all that separates Panetta and Casanelli.
As we're seeing Casanelli and Panetta once again side-by-side fight, and now it's Castanelli looking for the inside-outside move, and he's going to make the move on Panetta.
It's interesting to see Panetta just come back at him in the entrance to Indianapolis. This is around Arnage now, and we haven't seen that before. Just trying to poke his nose in a little bit, trying to, you know, just trigger maybe, you know, any voice activations like, you know, crew chief or the in-game spotter. Just so there's a car to your left, just try and make then Casanelli to change his line a little bit and give Panetta the chance just to fight back on that short run between Indianapolis and Arnage, as we see Yakubu and Adicano trading places once again.
Yeah, trading places once again, and here's Yakubu trading place with Marco now.
So the Porsche back up into 4th place, and one of 3 close battles we've got out on track is this one. Of course, the battle we've just seen between Castellani and Panetta. And Sorensen is starting to close up onto the back of Garoli, sorry. However, that gap has actually extended back out again, so no change really there. Actually, well, I haven't said that, so I think it's Garoli closing up on the back of Guyland now, but yeah, I mean, fascinating stuff. I mean, we fully expect these guys to keep trading places as Yakubu going for that move into Indianapolis. I don't know if that, yeah, there we go. Gets the move done ahead of time. And we've got, just looking at the clock, Austin, we've got around about 3 laps left here the season finale, and still plenty of chance for these drivers to keep swapping places.
Yeah, it definitely is. 3 laps, 3 opportunities to make your mark here. Who's going to be taking the final, the final position between these 2 drivers? We're really going to find out, and it's going to be a little bit of hair-raising action here because, it's the last opportunity. Last time, white flag lap, all or nothing. Hey, we might see a little bit of argy-bargy between these 2 drivers very soon.
Undoubtedly, it's just keep you up to date. Growley's just got past Jack Geiler for 13th overall. Got 2 different classes as we just see
and
the
Jack
trailblazers
Geiler gets right back.
The power of the slipstream here at Le Mans just being shown there, and head down the first section, the Mulsanne, but fully expect to see Growley come straight back past Geiler here on the second section of the Mulsanne straight. The shortest section of the 3 doesn't always, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to get the move done. And I tell you what, Jack Geiler's got a really good exit there. I think he's going to hold on to this through this next section. However, with a longer section on the run down to Mulsanne corner, that's going to give Growley a chance to fight back and reclaim place.
Can we talk about Andy Ticers after leading the race and getting tapped off the track by well, he's been having a good recovery drive. He's currently sitting in 3rd. But, after getting tapped off the track in Indianapolis by Jack Geiler, he's recovered back up into 3rd right there. And he's doing a pretty good job. And, if something might happen, he could be challenging for the lead of the P2 AMs and maybe P2 as well, as Thomas Sorensen is there in front of him as well. And Sorensen is closing in on Jack Geiler and Giuseppe. If they get into a fight, they could have a last lap showdown. So right on board of Marco behind Yakubu. He thought about it, didn't go for the move down to the inside. It's not one of those places where you really want to send one.
It's not when, especially when there's chance for, if you do get ahead, as we were saying just previously, there's chance for you to fight back through this next section, the Mulsanne, the run down to Mulsanne corner. Plus also then, of course, you've got the long run out of Mulsanne corner down to Indianapolis as well. So even if you don't get the move done, it's not the end of the world. You've still got another 2 potential overtaking opportunities. Run down to Mulsanne and Indianapolis respectively. And just trying to keep half an eye on it. I don't think I was half expecting these guys to maybe catch up, take a bit more chunk where obviously they're, slipstreaming with one another to close up onto the back of Corbs, but they haven't really been able to do it. As you see, Yakubu head ahead, take the lead of this little battle once more again.
Yeah, it looks like Corbs is just putting in faster laps as well, as these 2 keep fighting and slowing each other down. And they aren't really working in, the intention to catch up to Corbs. I don't know when I was bringing the God of Thunder in here, but, I don't think when you're being compared to the God of Thunder, that would be much of an insult. But Corbs, just staying ahead of him, and he's actually put it in faster lap times as well.
He is indeed, and credit, because he's got no one to slipstream from either. And you can see the lap time differences there between himself and Yakubu right now. And, it's... If Yakubu and Adekano had been clever about it, they could have worked together and had a chance to battle for that last place on the podium. I expect some... I'll tell you what, Cowlarts has closed up a little bit during these closing stages of the race. Obviously, I expect has just got a chance, to breathe. Doesn't need to worry about the traffic too much. It's just the large buffer that he opened up during the pit stop phase over the German. There is Betts just coming through a bit of traffic. The 295 with Connor Gibb. Dispatching him, and Iconetti is the other driver ahead.
He's actually lost time to Cowlarts. That gap was 11 seconds. Now 7.4. So something might happen to Alex Betts. Just a little bit of traffic-wise, but... he's still got that 7.6 second cushion. I'm
just having a look through our brilliant timing software, SDK Gaming here, Austin, which shows obviously the event logs. He's had an off track. He's had, I think he might have, even potentially have had a couple actually in a very short space of time. I think that maybe that's what might have caused him to lose those nearly 4 seconds.
Well, we do have our Wave Italy immersive racing replay right here to see what's happened. Obviously, I'm getting a little bit of interference on my side. Tim, do you have some?
No, I'm getting the very same
Dennis can walk us through.
We're...
Oh, he spun at the forward chicane. Oh, no. Well, that was certainly lower your lap time down and give a big advantage to Calrats right there, but no damage that we can see on the car, but a spin in the forward chicane. Woohoo! With just a few laps to go, 3 minutes ago, actually. Next lap is our last lap. White flag will be in the air this time by. It gets you a little bit antsy and a little bit of you need to be a little bit more cautious because, it's the final lap. We see Spets in the background behind this fight right here. Here's Connor Gibb. He's taking the line pretty regularly. He's chasing down Iconetti. It's in the draft. They continue on, heading into the Porsche curves. Here goes Connor Gibb down to the inside. Gonna be a side-by-side drag race heading into the Porsche curves. Gibb has that outside line. Iconetti has that inside line. Gibb round the outside, able to make that move work.
Just absolutely swoop down on Gibb there. Sorry, Gibb did on Iconetti and got the move done. And it was a bit of time as well where Iconetti had to take that much shallower line, and absolutely fascinating stuff between those two. And just I tell you what, Austin, I'm just having a look here, and I think Yakubu and Adekano have managed to close up onto the back of Corbs in these closing stages. Look, there you go.
Yes,
that Gumper shrug.
Yes, they have. There's Corbs right there. He's at the bottom of the line. White flag is in the air. So there's Jan Corbs. I feel like he was just caught up in the forward chicane. And speaking of caught up, there is Marco and Yakubu right there. Both of them sending it down to the inside out of the LP2 traffic. And we're going to have a fight for the final podium spots here in the LP1s.
See, we'll come out on top. Will it be either of the Audis? Will it be Porsche? As causing Yakubu and Adekado are currently in that order. And round about a second is all that separates these three.
Oh, Yakubu knows that he can get a podium right here. And I think Marco can see that as well. So they're not going to be fighting each other. They're going to be fighting Corbs right there. They're going to be really pushing it too. You see that in the background of the straight shot. You see Jack Geiler drafting the 125 at Garoli. Right there, and oh, he's bump track. Oh my goodness, Jack Geiler's buried in him.
Yes, he's pushing him to the absolute max there.
He's getting some Daytona 500 practice right there. Here comes Marco looking onto the outside, heading into the next chicane. It looks like that Porsche Power is, he's used all of his boost. Yakubu is going back down to the inside. Yakubu and Marco, you're fighting for third. You're not fighting each other. But I feel like they really decided that they can't catch Corbs right here. And so they're going to go back to fighting each other right there. But third is just out of the reach. But this is not the thing you want to do.
No, they were just coming into the grasp of Corb. And you can see there's still traffic ahead of them. If you look at the track map on the top right-hand corner of the screen right now, you can see the blue dots and the green dots are the LMP2 classes, the blue being Pro, green being AM. So there's still plenty of LMP2s ahead of them. They still have a chance to close out that gap even further to Corbs. But instead, these two are having an absolute ding-dong right now as Adekano taking that outside
once again.
Line. Corbs fighting.
Oh, what a defense by Yakubu, forcing Marco to take that outside line. Marco switched back down to the inside. Marco still trying to get past Yakubu. They're getting held up by Andy Tysers right now. And Marco and Yakubu, the fight for fourth place, absolutely ding-dong fight, as you were saying, as they head into the Porsche curves for one last time. Here comes Marco. Marco looking down to the inside. It's going to be on to the outside right now as they start off the the curbs. The Kubu stays onto the inside. Marco gets all the way out to the gate layer. It's not going to be there as Alex Spetz takes another win in the LMP1 Pro and I believe the championship. With no doubt about that one. Calrats comes home in second place. And here we go. Heading into the Ford chicanes right now. Yakubu is leading Marco. Leading into there. It's the last corner, last opportunity for Marco and Yakubu. And it's going to be Yakubu finishing in fourth. There's a little bit of spin right there. But Yakubu finishes in fourth. Autocano finishes in fifth. And Jan Kors finishes in third.
That was Growly. That was
Growly.
Wow. Yeah, Growly there, spinning, and it's actually meant he's dropped a couple of places. Sorensen's got ahead of him. Obviously, he was locked in that battle with Jack Geiler. And, yeah, just at the end there, Growly dropping a place overall on the AM driver, sneaking past at the absolute depth. And, wow. We've seen some absolutely classic battles here as we see Owen Carroll just he's still on a lap. He's still got the chunk, but he's still got a large chunk of it. He's just coming down to Mulsanne corner, so he's just under, well, so just over, sorry, halfway round right now. This technically this battle
lap. This is a victory lap.
Well, interestingly, that battle for second place between Panetta and
that's still going
Casanelli.
on.
That is still going on, very much so. So they've got another chance, another bite of the apple.
Yeah, let's watch that second place fight. There we go. A little bit of cone murder to start it off.
It's down into Mulsanne corner. You can see Panetta, I'll tell you what, moving around trying to break the slipstream.
Advantage Casanelli, he's going to have that draft heading into Indianapolis right here. Panetta leading him out right now. These two are ranked in the top 10 of all Apex Racing League. Here comes Castanelli, looking onto the outside, heading into Indianapolis. He's going to be making the move already, heading by the keep, but here he comes off the exit. Panetta swings it around the outside. Panetta and Castanelli, they're wheel to wheel, nose to nose. Panetta down to the inside, but he's overshot it. Castanelli's going to be in P2. Panetta's in the wall. Panetta is in the wall, and he might lose fourth. Here comes Mariani, just a little bit farther behind him. Yep, there's Mariani right now. He does have enough top speed on his teammate. Could he get that overtake and a third place, surprise third place on the last lap, heading into the Porsche curves?
Wow, an absolute grandstand finish here in overtime at Le Mans. Carroll, he's going to take the victory. But wow, it was all about that battle for second, but now it's become a battle for third. And whether Mariani
when you get a win like that, you can do anything you want like that. What a grandstand finish for second place as well. But yeah, you're exactly right.
It's I'm just keeping half note. I think Panetta is going to hold on to that third place. There you go, just coming into the forward curves. He's got his teammate behind him. The team orders just coming into play there as well. Rounding out the podium in LMP2 Pro.
What a finish to this race in LMP1, 2, Pro, and AM. What a great, fantastic race this was, and what a season this has been. And I must say, before we cover all the results, everybody gets ready to join the booth. We're going to take a little small break for me to just calm down and catch my breath. And Tim, I believe, to get everything in order. So, yeah, we'll be right back for the results and podium interviews. And welcome back to the Wave Italy Apex Racing League Prototype Championship here And here are your race results for the season finale. Alexander Spets with another win on him today. As you see him taking a little victory lap right there. I think he might have made contact with the wall on the said victory lap. I don't think he cares. He's followed by Simon Callerat, Jan Corbs, Ismail Yakubo, Marco Aldicano, who had a ding-dong battle all the way to the end for 4th. Ollie Cole finishes in 6th. Owen Carroll took the win in LMP2 Pro, followed by Lorenzo Castanelli and Francesco Pineda, who, you know, we saw that fireworks of a fight in, quote, overtime, which was a fantastic fight. Michael Mariani in 4th, followed by Giuseppe Maya and Daniel Sizzi Salzbo. Jack Geiler, from having 3 slowdowns at the start of this race and putting him at the back of the LMP2 Anfield, dragged his way, clawed his way back up to the lead to take the win ahead of Thomas Sorensen, Ricardo Garoli, Andy Tysers, Connor Gibb, Girardo Iconetti, Martin Corfed, and Andy Thompson at the end of our grid. Balog, he was in the practice session. He didn't start the race, though.
Just well, your classify results, but let's have a little bit of a chat to our race victor and series championship. We're joined in the commentary booth now by Alex Spets. Alex, congratulations, another victory, and I believe that is the championship for yourself as well.
Yeah, was a great race here on the Mars again. I got really lucky throughout the whole race. I made almost a perfect race and then accidentally crashed out, but I managed to keep it out of the wall.
Yes, we suddenly clocked that you dropped around about 4 seconds to Simon Cowlart's behind you, and then obviously saw the replay in the forward curves where you sort of what happened? Did you just overcook it on entry? You know, what was you know, obviously, you know, you could feel the responses, you know, your inputs in the car. What exactly? Talk us through how it came to be.
I basically just went way too much over the curb. I did the exact same last season here on this track. I went way too much over the sausage curb, and then the rear middle floor of the car hit the sausage and then just flied up in the air and couldn't control the car. So that curb is a bit scary sometimes.
Now, when it came to the round of pit stops, Alex, myself and Austin were questioning whether you'd made the right decision because Carlots came in just as we were coming up onto the back of the LMP2 traffic. You elected to stay out and then got caught up behind two battling LMP2s and seemed to lose quite a bit of time. How sort of a nervous a period for you was that, as you could see yourself, you know, just having to sit behind, you know, the first section before you could get out onto the Mulsanne straight, and it felt like you were losing a lot of time there.
Yeah, I was worried a bit before. Simon had really good traffic comparing to me before the pit stop, but I felt a little bit of relief after him pitting because I know lower fuel on the Mans is about half a second quicker a lap, so it's a risk pitting early, but also not because he didn't receive the LMP2 traffic. But I still, in the end, think I made the right choice for being P1.
Well, yes, definitely. The results count for everything. You had an absolutely, brilliant next couple of laps and, in laps, and it, emerged. I think it was around about 3 seconds ahead. It was an absolutely, flawless drive. With the exception, maybe obviously your slight incident at the forward curbs. Before we let you go, is there anyone you wanted to give a shout out to at all?
Yeah, I would like to thank my sponsors, my family, and also to Majors Garage. I've been using their setups for the whole season, and to Peter Suba for building them. Really great setups.
There we go. Alex Spets, your victor here today in the season finale at Le Mans and your series champion. So next up, Austin, let's have a little bit of a chat. Well, would you like to have a chat with Owen Carroll, our victor here in LMP2 Pro?
Absolutely. I would love to have a chat with Owen. And Owen, absolutely great victory here today. How was it out? How was it out there at Le Mans?
Yeah, it was quite fun actually. Didn't have much prep going into it. Of course, this week being the Daytona week, so kind of went in blind, not knowing what to expect. So I just did race what I did, and had my experience behind me from previous Le Mans races here, and just see what would happen. Really.
Yeah, this will be your 5th win in class, and you're currently ranked in 3rd overall in all of Apex Racing League right now, and I believe I'll put you that might push you ahead into ranked number 2 overall to end out this season in all of the Apex Racing League right there. But you were definitely putting on a wonderful performance throughout this entire season, Owen.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Definitely. I mean, obviously starting the season off with 2 wins was great. And the next 3 races didn't go exactly to plan. They could have been possible wins and podiums, but ended up being fourths and fifths and just a few incidents here and there. And then got back onto my stride. And yeah, it's a perfect way to end off the season.
Yeah, perfect way. No mistakes that we could have seen at all today. You pulled away after, before and after the pit stops, and Le Mans just seemed as your home right there. How you, before we let you go back to practicing for Daytona or start sleeping to get ready for Daytona, as I know that I am. Anyone you want to thank?
I want to thank you guys in the commentary and you guys for broadcasting this race. It's been very fun, and we appreciate the commentary behind it.
And we appreciate you for putting in your heart out there on the track and doing what you do best.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
I believe Tim is standing by with Thomas Sorensen right now. I'll leave you two with that.
I am indeed second in LMP2. Thomas Sorensen. Wow, it was definitely busy out there for yourself. You seem to be locked in a race-long battle between yourself, Jack Geiler, Ricardo Caroli, Sivi Zabo, Andy Tices, Connor Gibb was in amongst there in the early stages as well. You seem to be constantly, trading places, gaining, a bit of time, and then losing out a little bit. And just, sort of, how was it, in that battle? Was it just a case of just trying to keep your skin in the game, as it were?
It was very stressful, just looking in your mirrors all the time. And I think I did something wrong with my setup, because I think I lost about 5 kilometers per hour on every straight. So I don't know. I was really needing that drag that I got from those guys. But whoa, it was so busy. But yeah, ended well. So yeah, I'm happy, very happy.
And obviously, you mentioned about something wrong within your setup where you're losing that top speed. Obviously, when you had the LMP ones come through, that always tends, depending on where they catch you, you can end up tending to lose a little bit of time to whoever's in front of you, and therefore, dropping out of being in that slipstream range. Did that just add and compound the stress that you were experiencing inside the cockpit?
Yeah, it didn't help at all. And it's always hard to manage traffic, weather, doesn't matter which track you're racing on, it's the same. And I mean, these LMP1 guys are like so much faster than we are. So you have to let them through at the right moments. Just that will be the best for both of us.
Just before we let you go, Thomas, final question. What's been your favourite race of the season?
Daytona, I think. It was a great race. I had a great battle with Jack as well. And I think that was my best performance this year.
Definitely was it. Absolutely a cracking race between yourself and Jack. I remember that well. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Yeah, you guys and the whole of Apex Racing TV, Apex Racing League, and my teammate Morten and our team CTS Racing and our sponsors Quickly Turner and Bullwall.
Okay, that's Thomas Sorensen, second place in LMP2 today. Right, well, Austin, I think it's that's everyone. We've had a chat with everyone, and well, I think, like you say, I'm off for a bit of a lie down after a cracking hour-long race we've had it today here at Le Mans.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been such a wonderful wonderful season, and what a wonderful way to end it out here. And, you know, at the end of the season, you know, you always get a little bit emotional at things, but, you know, there's like, I don't want it to end, but, you know, I think we've seen everything that we could have seen here in this series, and what a start we had, and what an end to this season as well. Thank you all for joining us here for the Wave Italy Apex Racing League Prototype Championship here from Le Mans. I've been joined by Tim Cox and Dennis Branch in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.